Hey guys, I'm Dr. Aaron Horschig, and today I'm going to show you how to warm up for deadlifts.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you 4 things you can do to warm up to hit that next deadlift PR. So the first things first, we need to work on mobility. Now, I love the goblet squat for warming up for deadlifts. And the reason is we need to prime our hip mobility and just the action of all those muscles that surround the hip, like your glutes. So first things first, come into the gym, you've got deadlifts that day. You're gonna grab a plate, 10 kilos, 25 pounds, anything you can find. You are going to get into a deep squat, okay? Jam your knees out to the side a little bit, okay? Create that external rotation torque, but keep your big toes jammed down into the ground. From here, squat down as deep as you can. Hold it for a couple seconds. Come up just a couple inches, squeeze your glutes, back down and stand up. Then spread your feet out just a little bit further, okay? Squat down again, as deep as you can. Come up a couple inches, squeeze your glutes like crazy, back down, come back up. One more time. Spread your feet out a little bit more. We're opening up those hips. We're creating that torque in the lateral hip muscles. Squatting down, come up a couple inches, squeeze your glutes, back down and back up. Something like this, I would maybe do 10 of them or so. So that is the first thing. The next thing we're gonna do is prime that hip hinge and internal and external rotation mobility at the hips. And we're gonna do it on one leg. This is called the hip airplane. So what you're gonna do, stand on one foot. Basically, you're gonna start off by performing a single leg RDL. Your back leg is gonna be completely straight. Stand on one foot, core braced. From head to toe, like a teeter-totter, you're gonna turn over. So we're gonna hinge forward completely, arms out to the side if you need to for balance, and you're gonna hold in this position for a couple seconds. Notice how my toe is pointing straight down. Don't start off with your hip open like that. What that's doing is it's externally rotating at the hip joint. We don't want that yet. We need a neutral hip for this. So you're gonna hinge, and if you're doing this correctly, you'll feel a good amount of tension in those hamstrings and glutes on your stance leg. From here, you're gonna hold for a couple seconds. You're gonna internally rotate by taking your belly button and pointing it that way. Then you're gonna come up, and you're gonna externally rotate, and then you're gonna come back. As you can see, this is tough. You'll see my knee wobble around a little bit. When you are starting these out, you just want to move a couple inches each way. You don't need to do a huge motion. But as you get better, you'll notice these muscles are going to be working like crazy to steer your hip. So from the side view, back leg straight. We're hinging only at the hip. As my head goes forward, my heel goes back. I'm in that position. My glutes and hamstrings are turned on. I'm balanced. I'm now gonna go into the hip airplane rotation. Go down a little bit. I'm gonna feel a stretch in the lateral hip. I'm gonna open. I'm gonna close. I'm gonna come up. I will do maybe 10 of those on each side. And you'll notice that your hips are gonna be that much more open afterwards. You're gonna have that much more control of your hips in that hinging motion, which is the deadlift. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3, we gotta get those glutes turned on. We are going to do a bridge. So I want you to take a hip circle band. This is one by Slingshot. You're gonna put this around your knees. You're gonna get down on the ground. Feet jammed into the ground. You're going to brace your core a little bit, drive your feet hard into the ground, pick your hips up, and squeeze your glutes like crazy. 10-second hold, and then back down. Now here's the deal. If your hamstrings are cramping, there are 2 things you can do. The first thing is you can bring your heels a little bit closer to your glutes. What that's gonna do is shorten the hamstring muscle and decrease its ability to contribute to the motion of hip extension. So step 1, if hamstrings cramp, heels a little bit closer, hips up, should be feeling those glutes turned on a little bit more. The second thing you can do is you can push into the ground with your toes just a little bit. Don't let your toes or heels pop up, but push away as in this motion. What that's gonna do is turn your quads on a little bit more because we're trying to extend the knees. Now, why does quad activation help with the hips? If the quads turn on a little bit, they're going to decrease the hamstring activity. It's called reciprocal inhibition. The only thing left to extend the hips are your glutes. So pushing in this motion, but obviously not letting your feet move, pushing the heels down or toes down will allow your glutes to turn on a little bit more. 10-second holds and back. The band is around the knees because we're creating a little bit of the extra rotation torque at the hip joint by activating those lateral hip muscles. If you do 10 to 15 of these, I promise your glutes are gonna be burning like crazy. So that is step 3. The last thing that we're gonna do to prime our body for a good deadlift session is gonna be core stability. Now again, if you have time, I highly suggest doing the entire McGill Big 3 warm-up. I've got videos of those in the past. Just search on YouTube, McGill Big 3. And what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you the BIRDDOG, one of my favorite ones. The reason I like this so much for deadlift warm-ups is because we are activating core stability to prime our body to limit any excessive back rounding while also moving the hip, which is the same motion as a deadlift. So you're gonna be down on all fours. From here, we're gonna brace our core like crazy. We're then going to kick out, squeeze, 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 brace your core as hard as you can, 10 seconds, come back, tap, come back out again. Don't allow any motion to occur at the spine with this, and then back. A good cue that can help, kick that heel back. That'll activate that glute just a little bit more. So instead of kicking and allowing that toe to go straight, kick that heel straight back and you'll feel a little bit more posterior chain activation. So something like this again, what I want you to do prior to deadlifting is going to be 6 reps for a 10-second hold on each side. Then you're gonna stand up, it's time to grab the barbell. So there we go. That is the official SquatUniversity deadlift warm-up. You're going to be doing a couple different things to prime mobility with the goblet squat. You're going to be doing the hip airplane to open those hips up and get a little bit more control of your hips and learning how to steer your strength. You're then going to get those glutes activated with the bridge, and you're gonna finish it up with a little bit more core stability. But if you do those 4 things prior to your deadlift session, I promise you, you're gonna be feeling that much more warmed up and that much ready to lift big weights with great technique. So I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, share the video with your friends and family, and let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions or topics that you'd like me to talk about next week. Until then, guys, happy squatting.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.